How much sleep you getting, new dad?
Not much. Not much, but I'm loving every minute of it.
Uh,
Mm.
I mean, obviously you're busy, work, TO, all that good stuff. Final round 20 is coming up. But yeah, I guess I want to take the opportunity to congratulate you. This is
Thank
first
you.
time I've seen your face, I think since Seattle. And so, of course, the baby wasn't here just yet. I
Mhm.
have two young kids of my own, so I haven't slept in probably 4 years. Anyway,
There you go. You know my pain.
yeah. Uh, Final round 20 is coming up.
Yes, sir.
The first thing I actually want to ask you is, man, how do you do this event for like 20 years? It's been, I'm assuming, 20 years consecutive, right? Like, how do you do this event for that
Yes.
long?
I've been doing this for the love of the community for a while, man. I mean, it's just I did this initially just to start because I used to be a player just to beat on
Right.
people. And then just grew from there. My passion for playing kind of waned, but my passion for doing events kept growing. So um, I've always said that I would do final round as
Hmm.
long as it's needed, as long as the people want it. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing. It's 20 years later.
Last year, I had the good fortune of being there in person. Unfortunately, I
Okay.
won't be this year, but it was a great event. Obviously, there were some challenges and some difficulties, but
Yes.
I think one thing that I admire is you and of course your staff haven't you never backed down from any of that. It wasn't like, oh, making excuses, whatever.
No.
But obviously there was some difficulties, and I actually want to just ask you, and I've seen posts like on the Facebook page, the final round page, and things like that addressing that. But I
Okay.
want to ask you what you learned. I mean, you've been doing this a long time, and I assume there's something to learn every year. But what did you learn last year that you can that you can apply to this year?
Well, one thing I learned was don't use Woofu because they give you ghost accounts um, for registration. That was a big thing that we had. Obviously, coming up to the event, I guess 3 weeks before the event, we had
Mhm.
like 250 pre-registered, and then boom, it exploded. And
Was that for Street
me, I
Fighter?
was
Was that just Street Fighter
that
or
was
just
just
total? Or
that
total?
was overall.
Okay.
So
Okay.
total, we had like
Yeah.
maybe 250 to 300 people at the most
Right. Right.
pre-registered three weeks before the event, and then boom, like that, just start picking up, picking up, picking up, picking up. Um, we've had issues with this tracking service or sign up service Wufu before that. Basically, we would have to go behind it and double check and triple check to make sure it's not giving us ghost registrations.
Right.
Uh, So after we did that, and they sent me all the information after we closed registration. They were like, "Yeah, Larry, we got 890 people registered for Street Fighter Five for
Man.
CPT," and I'm like, "Check it again." So I'm like, "Check it again. It can't be right." So my wife goes over the numbers also, and she's like, "Yeah, I got 890 people." I'm like, "Oh crap." Okay. I was planning for 512, maybe 600. Even though we go into the 1028 bracket after we pass 500 this year, what I wanted to do, I was kind of anticipating the same number, so I was planning for the worst, which not really the worst, but the same amount of numbers we had. We capped it off at 1028, 1024,
Sure.
but um, basically I was going to make Street Fighter 2-day event, so start pools on Friday and
Yeah.
start pools on Saturday. So we won't run into that. Obviously, last year, it was 2 weeks before the event. I couldn't say, hey, you got to be here on Friday. No,
Right.
people already purchased their tickets, their flights, their hotels here to come mainly on Saturday. They'll get in here. If they want to play teams, fine. But most people arrive late Friday evening, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, early
Yeah.
Saturday morning play. So switching around the schedule like that was dramatic. That's really the only thing I could have did to alleviate how long people were in the ballroom for the initial day. That also
Hmm.
would have helped traffic with every other game. So the uncomfortableness that everyone had in the venue because we were so packed We definitely had, this outside of Evolution, we probably had the biggest event that year. So that caused some uncomfortableness. It was hot in there, sucking up all the air conditioning, stuff like
Yeah.
that. But with all of
Yes, it
that, we
was.
still, yeah, even with all of that, I apologize for that on Saturday.
Yeah.
It was a meat locker. Uh, but even with that, we got through and we wasn't in there until like 2 or 3 o'clock on Sunday. So, we finished on time on Sunday. We muscled through it. But
Yeah.
I don't want to put, people that attend through that stress, volunteer staff, that was a lot. So this year I plan for the worst. If we had to scale it down due to the size changing, then we'll do that. But slowly and surely, right after that event, I started looking for venues. It was hard because here I normally use hotels,
Right.
but there really wasn't a hotel that could satisfy the needs and space. So now we're going to the Georgia International Convention Center, and it's slap dab across the street from the airport. So if you're flying in, it's a shorter trip. I mean, if you ever been to Final Round, it's a short trip from the hotel to the
Yeah.
airport.
Yeah.
So it's even shorter now. You literally, once you go to baggage claim, you go at the end of baggage claim, and there's a SkyTrain right there. You get on that, you cross the highway, and you're there. So it's like a 60-second train ride across the highway, and you're at the venue.
Let me start by saying, Final Round has dozens of games, main games, side tournaments, all that. But
Yes.
obviously, last year was a big deal. Street Fighter V had just come out. The registration, rush was, I think, that was a large part of that. And but I'm curious, how much has Capcom Pro Tour affected Final Round and its growth?
I think it's a good partnership. I've seen Capcom Pro Tour grow and reach all throughout the world. I think that we still have a long ways to go. I mean, for me, being the first event, things are, hey, Capcom Cup just ended.
Yeah.
And then, hey, it's Final Round, before you know it, it's just like, oh, everybody got to get revved up for the season again. So it kind of sneaks up on people, and then it's like, oh, it's here. But I mean, it's been good. I think that in the future is bright for CPT,
Yeah.
and it definitely can help not only Final Round, but a lot of tournaments around the world.
Yeah.
Uh, we have a player base that comes. But also, we have people from all around the world that comes to Final Round each year. People definitely want to win that first, premier event. They get that leg up on everyone. You know, that's really important. You see majority of the top players attending Final Round each year. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect anything different. And I think the level of competition is always raised at premier events and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. Always looking forward to our partnership with Capcom on this. And the future is bright. Branching off from that, what I'm doing with Red Bull also,
Right.
that's great for my local community,
Proving grounds. Right.
Yes, our
Yeah.
proving grounds here at Southeast Battles, it helps cultivate the local scene. I really got into that because that's how I started Final Round, the local level,
Hmm.
and reaching out. A lot of these guys just know me as, Shin Blanka runs Final Round.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, he's doing local events again, and our guys go out and compete against each other to be in the playoffs. And I saw a lot of growth here in Atlanta, with the people that played here. So I'm really excited about season 2. If you have a local event that's a Red Bull Proving Ground in your area, please attend.
Hmm.
Please attend because we have a lot of good things in store for you. It'll be announced soon, but all right.
It's good. I actually almost forgot about that. I want to touch on
Don't forget.
seeing. Yeah, I want to touch on your scene a little bit, but what I did want to ask you, and real quick, I don't know how much you know as far as like changes, but it looks like there will not be auto qualification spots anymore for premier events, and things like points and whatnot is changing.
Earn it.
So, having said that, uh, do you feel like not having an auto qualification spot, or just in general, some of the changes that are taking place in 2017 will affect final round in any way?
No, I don't think the overall attendance will be affected by having an automatic bid. I mean, people are gonna come, and I mean, the reason why people are gonna come or not come has nothing to do with that. You know,
Yeah.
this year more so than is with final round in general. We're gonna show people a really good time, and when we do that, hopefully those that didn't come will come back
Sure.
into the
Yeah.
fold. But I don't think the whole automatic um, qualifier being
Hmm.
out of there, no, I don't think that have anything to do with it because the best competition is going to compete against the best competition. And it's still a premier event, so you get
Yep.
those premier points.
Yep.
You can win like three or four, regional joints, win one
Yeah.
premier, you still on top. So
Yep.
really and truthfully, I mean, the important zone premieres are still at a premium, but
Hmm.
they just want you to earn it now, not just say, oh, I got an automatic spot. Uh, I don't have to go to these events. You know what I'm saying? I think the reason why they did it is to try to promote people to attend more events and
Yeah.
play at their best at all these events because just because you win final round doesn't mean you can slack off. You could tell at the beginning of the season, the first half of the season, infiltration dominated.
Hmm.
Second half of the season, Dew became the champion. So it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Right.
Unfortunately, my Falcons had to learn that lesson too.
You know what? I didn't want to bring it up. I
I
didn't want
mean,
to
I'm
bring it
just
up,
saying. I mean, I brought it up, so I'm just saying. I
but
mean,
I
it's
can
it's
tell you
how you
this much.
finish.
I do feel your pain a little bit. When the Seahawks didn't run the
I
ball
know.
on the one,
I was those worse. I was those worse.
I feel your pain. I was rooting for the look. I know I've seen you post about the bandwagon Falcon fans, but I'm gonna admit I was a bandwagon fan, for that week, and I feel your pain.
Were you more so for the Falcons or more so against the Patriots? Because I think it was more people against the Patriots than for the Falcons.
I was. It's a little bit of for me. It's a little bit of both. Always against the Patriots, but I really did want to see the Falcons win one. So
Okay, well, I appreciate it,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
We didn't get it done, but hopefully we'll get it done next year. Maybe.
yeah.
Who knows? I just throw
Um,
up my hands.
it kind of reminded me of an infiltration choke at Capcom Cup.
Yeah, yeah,
One of the things that we've been asking people, especially TOs, is the idea of sort of format changes in tournaments. And I'm sure you're familiar with this. The idea, like say, Third Strike has a great teams-based tournament in Cooperation Cup, and
yes.
we're curious what guys like yourself think in regards to whether it's a pro tour or just sort of tournament format in general. If you think, I know we do teams tournaments as sort of like exhibitions, but if that was more of a official tournament,
Official. Okay.
how do you feel about it? Do you think that's something that could work? And like the format, it's not just one team versus another. Maybe there's like picks and bans similar to like League of Legends or Dota, where characters
Yes.
are teams can. Do you think something like that could work? Is that
Well,
interesting?
I think it could work, but the character lock thing, I don't know about that
Okay.
because think about it. I mean, there's a lot of tier whores out there. So, I mean, you say somebody may just pick Cammy,
Yeah.
to screw over K Brad, so he can't
Yeah.
pick him. You know what I'm saying? So that type of stuff, you just like nah, nah. I don't think that'll work with character lock. But yeah, definitely team tournaments have been a staple of my events for years. So
Hmm.
I take them seriously. Yes, they are side events, but I mean anything that I allow at my event, I take serious. So
Right.
Yeah, team events will definitely work. I think they're more on the exhibition side, like that's more of a spectacle
Hmm.
than the double elimination singles events.
Right.
Uh, I think both of them have their merits, but yeah, it could work. You could actually do something with that, but with that introduce team chemistry more so than anything. Like case in point, years back in Street Fighter 4, we
Hmm.
had the 5v5 battle with Empire, and that's when I had a Street Fighter team. Well, I was sponsoring people from Georgia, and
Right.
we beat Empire. So it's just like none of my guys are well known players, but you beat guys. You have Dominion and all those guys that are Sanford and them. Playing
Yeah.
Street Fighter 4 back in the day. I mean, hey, something like that, if it was, broadcast or televised, who is this unknown team, oh, they beat, such and such team that's a predominant,
Yeah.
powerhouse as individuals. But then you get to team chemistry, and then you have to think about the strategy, who goes first, who goes second, depending on who they play. Should we put this person next? So it's a lot of strategy going to team. So I like the team aspect also,
Let me ask you
strategically.
this. One of the reasons that I think something like Cooperation Cup works is because the Third Strike's been out forever, right? There's enough
Yes.
good players that you can have 90 teams sign up, 90 teams of like 5 players, right?
Yes.
Street Fighter 4 obviously was around long enough that maybe you could pull something off similar. With Street Fighter 5, I kind of have the opinion that I don't know that there's enough talent to sort of run like I guess when we talk about teams tournaments, something along the lines of like a circuit, a pro tour team style thing. Do you think that's the case? Like, is there enough talent out there that we could do that?
I think there's plenty of talent. The thing is now that we're getting into the game and the characters changing, like gameplay slightly changing,
Right.
characters being nerfed and buffed. So that may make it harder to
Okay.
generate massive teams like what you're talking about with the
Sure.
co-op court. But in the same breath, when you start off with those things like the Kumite, and
Hmm.
other highlight like spectacles, the one that's about to happen this evening, things like that, I think they're made for. But until people learn the game more, I mean, this is still the second season, it's at
Yeah.
the start of the second season, and people got to fill out how their characters play now. So you may have totally different results going into this season. People may be stronger now. I'm looking for Daryl to do really good with Zangief. I know he's been playing nothing but Akuma online, but I think that's all a trap for everybody. It's like, no, I'm not showing y'all any tech until I go to final
Wait,
round and
isn't
whoop
he?
all y'all.
Wasn't it at final round that he pulled out the evil Ryu a couple years ago?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Oh no, he's a
Yeah.
Ryu player. I mean, I
Yeah.
spoken
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Daryl plenty of times.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, I've always played Shotos, and I can play on stick
Mhm.
too. I just prefer pad. I was
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I think Daryl's hiding his tech, so everybody
Okay.
beware.
All right.
Uh, Daryl, I don't know if Daigo's gonna play Gal, but I've heard that rumor that he's starting to play Gal more. Uh, my personal favorite is Do, of course, from the
Okay.
Southeast. So I think Do will protect the Southeast. Uh, but I think
Hold on.
Daryl,
Is this your prediction for final round?
yeah. I don't know,
Okay.
man. Come on, man.
Okay.
Come on.
So if memory serves, I know
Yeah,
Infiltration won last year. Cien was the year
yep,
before, and I believe Ryan Hart was 3 years
yep,
ago.
yep.
And I think those are the 3 years officially of Capcom Pro Tour, right?
Yes,
So that
correct.
means Do will be the first American to win the Capcom Pro Tour final round.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, he gonna do it.
All
I
right.
have no doubt.
Got it.
You got it, dude. You got this.
Okay. Uh, you brought up an interesting point, and I wanted to ask you about this. In talking about the teams, you talked about like the characters and sort of the changes the changes in the game as more characters come out, but also the possibility we don't know yet of more balancing with these characters. Do you think Capcom should be balancing the game more often, or do you kind of like the idea of just a once a year kind of deal?
Mm. um,
I mean, like as an
to
example,
me, to me,
I
if I was
I
still a
feel like they
player,
should do a quick balance before the season starts, but I
man,
like
I
the
don't
idea of
want
a
no,
once.
no, no.
No,
As a
okay,
tournament organizer,
okay,
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I can
Every
already hear this coming.
year, 3 days before my event,
Yeah,
guess what happens?
yeah,
Patch, patch,
yeah.
patch. Because what happens? People watch KIT and they watch Winter Brawl. Oh yeah, shout out to Big E. He's gonna be having Winter Brawl this weekend. But
Hmm.
they watch Winter Brawl and they see who won and what they do, and they quick patch it. And then I have to sit there and upload all my systems. And normally I leave on Wednesday. I pack my stuff up on Tuesday. I leave on Wednesday for the venue. So
Yeah.
if stuff come out on Monday, you really, you really hurt me. So I mean, I don't want to see any patches
Okay.
before my event. Like really, and truthfully, I mean, sometimes I miss out on games because final round is usually at the beginning or middle of March, and
Hmm.
then some games may come out at the very end or the beginning of April. So missing out on Injustice, unfortunately, but and
Right.
obviously Tekken 7. Well, we're gonna have it there, but I mean, really and truthfully, I think they do not need to just make too many changes. I mean, it's hard enough for people to learn how to play
Hmm.
this game, but it's really hard for people to learn how to play it after they change something mid-season, something like that. I mean,
Right.
I grew up in the age personally that you didn't get no patch.
Yep.
I mean, look at CBS 2. Imagine if CBS 2 came out right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there wouldn't be any road canceling. Think about it. There wouldn't
Yeah.
be any road canceling.
I
Blank and
think even like
Sagat,
Yeah, I think even like Third Strike, a lot of the
yeah.
stuff that those top tier characters and what made them great, yeah, that stuff would be nerfed immediately.
So I mean, while I think it's great that Capcom is really willing to try to make their game as balanced as possible, they do want tiers.
Yeah,
Don't please believe, don't think that they don't want tiers. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because every game must have a tier list to even out the balance and to show the strength of the game and the characters. But in the same breath, I think you have to learn. Sometimes characters are just have bad matchups against
Yeah,
most of the cats, and some are not as hard as long as you hit the lab and work it out.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't have the chance to sit at home and work it out. It was in the arcade. That's what we learned.
Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
so it's a great thing for them to try to adjust their game, to try to take out stuff that's brain dead. But I wouldn't want to see something dramatically change, like 2 or 3 times in a season or something like
Right.
that. Like they changed it from season 1 to season 2. I've always been a buff guy.
Hmm.
Don't nerf. If a character's good, as a former player, I always liked it when they just buff the weaker characters and left the
Right.
other characters the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I understand sometimes you have to, nerf characters to try to balance it out too. I mean, I don't want to get into that, but all I'm saying is that it's a good thing that they're trying and attempting to balance the game. But I don't want several different changes throughout the year. I mean, that's just placating to people that's whining. You got to
Yeah.
learn. Eventually, you just got to sit down, and learn the game, and figure out what works best for you. That's just my
Sure.
personal opinion.
Sure.
I mean, hell, I'm not a player no more, so you could take it for a grain of salt. If they do season 3, I want Oro. Yeah, that's my request. Other than that, I don't
Yeah.
even want Blanca. I would rather have Oro than Blanca,
Wow.
to
Okay.
be honest.
Oro. I played Oro in Third Strike a little bit. I was bad, but I did. Let's talk real quick about the Atlanta scene. I'm from Seattle.
Yep.
One of the interesting things that I think about our scenes in particular is Street Fighter is obviously the most popular game right now. Capcom Pro Tour, all of those things. We've always, I feel like Seattle's had a pretty strong Tekken scene, but Atlanta has always had a very strong Tekken scene.
Yes.
But having said that, you mentioned Red Bull Proving Grounds, which I thought was a great idea. It was a great way for other scenes to show off and cultivate their fighting game players.
Yes.
Tell me about what makes Atlanta special right now. How is it growing, and how are you guys, not just you, but everyone in that scene, sort of cultivating Atlanta right now?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of local events
Hmm.
that have sprouted up prior to me doing Red Bull Proving Grounds. I mean, for a while, they were like, hey, we'll throw a local here or a gathering here. But I mean, our scene's grown a lot
Yeah.
since, I mean, even before Proving Ground started. But now that started, it's even more. Well, I think it'll always be a heavy Tekken based or Soul
Mhm.
Calibur based state. But
Why is
we
that?
have a lot
I've
of.
always been kind of
Why
curious.
is
Why is
that?
that? Yeah, yeah. Like
All right.
what? Well,
Well, I'll put it like this. Me and my crew just ran through everybody in Capcom here in Georgia. Okay. EMS. And then we would go to different states, neighboring
yeah.
states. I didn't go down to Miami, but like northern Florida and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I would go there and beat up people. But I would only go like to Pensacola or Jacksonville because I wasn't driving all the way down to the bottom, man. No, I wasn't. But we go up, me and my homeboy June Rowe. June will actually go, different places. We beat on a lot of people, and that really started like the third strike trend here
Hmm.
because we love third strike, but and Street Fighter 3 in general because we play all three, my
Right.
crew. But everybody started to play third strike when we just started going out and beating on everybody. But the Tekken crew, they were like, well, they played some Capcom, but they really played Tekken. They
Yeah.
played Tekken like we played Street Fighter.
Hmm.
So, and they were younger. So it's all these guys that I knew were the kids in the arcades. They would
Okay.
go home and play Tekken. Now I couldn't touch them in Tekken. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, wow, okay, y'all guys got it. And what they would do is, the famous East Point house where guys would come over. People would come from around the nation just to stay there for a couple of, weeks or something like that to train with these guys. And it's in the hood, straight projects, you know what I'm saying? But people came there and think of a place like the old school golf lands where people used to go
Right.
there in California and level up. I mean, people just go through there and stop through and play.
Yeah.
And those guys just cultivated, a culture of we're definitely the best, talented Tekken players in the nation. I mean, all right, besides probably Jimmy and Crow,
Hmm.
you had Joshua Park, who's the Evo champion that moved from Atlanta. He used to go to my local events. I used to throw tournaments in his dad arcade, Ario. It was an Ario arcade here at North Point Mall that I used to run tournaments at. He left and went there. Jackie Trant
Yeah.
left and was, a top player in another region. So we have players that say, hey, they may have got some fame in another region, but they cut their teeth here in Atlanta. So
Right.
yeah, man. I mean, we got a lot of great Tekken players, and Anakin is taking it, and Anakin and Port Chop, all these guys, they've taken it and running with it. So speed kits now. So
Yep.
it don't end with Namco. I mean, and our Capcom players see that, and it's just like, man, we want to reach the level that our Tekken players reach.
Right.
So that energy and that competitiveness, you see it in our guys, and while they're not as good as them in their respective games, they
Yeah.
are striving to be there in Capcom.
Two things for you. One, so it seems like it's your fault that you held Capcom players down all those years, and that made Tekken stronger.
Oh
but
yeah, yeah, it's my fault. It's my
but as
fault.
a result, you just said yourself, the Capcom players, so Street Fighter Five, they see the Tekken scene or whatever, and of course Street Fighter Five, Capcom Pro Tour, Red Bull, what they're doing, they
Yes.
see these things and they're like, man, we want to be on that level. How far away do you think they are from being on a similar level? Oh, here you go. You're
They're
gonna make me
close.
jealous. You're gonna make
Well,
me jealous.
see,
Are you gonna show me this thing?
let's see. Y'all
Hold it
see
up a
this?
little. There you go. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
All right.
Making me
If
jealous.
you're good enough, well, I got this as a gift. I wasn't good enough, but if you're good enough, you can earn one of these bad boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This is the trophy for the season.
yeah.
And you see, it's nice and special. You know what I'm saying?
That's a Red Bull special, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They treat us right there. You know what I'm saying? I got
Yeah.
my name on the
Yep, there
side
it
right
is.
there. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? I'm actually, it doesn't work, but I'm gonna have a stick martyr
There you
fix it up
go.
so it can work so I can play on this. But this is things like this, you know what I'm saying? This is extra care. This is something that, no other tournament would do, or, fly guys out, 5-3 guys out, try to compete against other regions, That's always the goal, to test yourself. The goal is to test yourself to see how good you are. One on one, I'm smarter than you. I'm quicker than you. I'm tougher than you. I'm gonna beat you. So be the best in your region.
Hmm.
Fly out and be the best out of all the other regions on the amateur level. And then, at the end of the year, if you win that, you get to go to battlegrounds
Hmm.
where that's more international event. So yeah, man, I love the direction this is going with Proven Grounds. I'm honored to be one of the forefathers to start that. I take that really, really serious, and I really want to see this grow. Same thing with CPT.
Yeah.
Being in it from the door, I feel a responsibility that I want to see this succeed. I see games Dota and WoW and LOL and
Mhm.
StarCraft and stuff like that, packing, stadiums and stuff like that. And we're there and we're more entertaining. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're more entertaining. We have way more interesting people playing, personality you know, and heart and guts. I mean, everybody was sitting there watching Evolution, root for Joe. I
Yep.
wasn't there. I was screaming through my TV. I wanted to watch through ESPN too. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people saying, no, I want to watch the stream. I want to watch it like that. I had to watch it through ESPN too because it's just like, wow, I'm watching what I love to do on ESPN. This is a
Right.
dream. It's me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't match that. Even if you don't know about Street Fighter, you know. Look, there's an energy bar, there's two characters on the screen, they're gonna beat each other up. So yeah.
Absolutely. All right, one more for you. I know you're busy. You got kids to take care of. You got tournaments to plan and everything. I know
Mhm.
you just mentioned that your prediction is Dew is going to win final
Yeah,
round.
dude's gonna win.
Uh, I wonder if you might actually give me maybe your top three or five. Who do you think's gonna? What's your prediction there?
I really think Daryl got some secret tech with well, not
Okay.
really secret. I really think Daryl's gonna be in top five.
Okay.
Uh Depends on if Daigo uses Gal or sticks with Ryu. If he sticks with
Hmm.
Ryu, he might be out of there.
Infiltration.
Uh
You think?
well, I haven't seen him register, so I don't know.
Okay.
Uh, but if he comes, then yeah,
Okay.
infiltration. Another one that could possibly sneak in is Wolf Chrome. He's been playing good since this new,
Yeah.
season 2. So
Yes, he
I mean, don't
has.
count Crone out, and he's playing lower, almost to the level he's played his girl Viper. So
Mhm.
I mean, Crone get on a roll. People better watch out. I mean, hey, whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
respect the game if he get up in your face with that lore. So,
Yeah. The
but I think,
chats
dude, yeah.
will be set afire if Crone gets in there.
Oh man, the pop off would be real too. The
Yeah.
pop off
Yeah.
would be serious if Crone, went final round. So those are my top five right there. There's always someone like, hey, Young Art could appear.
Hmm.
Young Art appear. Nobody wants to play against Young Art, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be really interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, there's always storylines that happen, upsets that happen that you never see. Oh yeah, also Eduardo. I'm
Yep.
sorry, Balrog is strong as all get out, and Eduardo is
He looks
definitely
like
one of
he's
my
having
favorites.
fun right now.
Yeah, exactly.
and
And
that's
Eduardo having
dangerous.
fun. He's
Yeah,
already super focused and could outthink most players in the world. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of players that are solid players do not want to play Eduardo. Exactly. So definitely, my bad about that cup holder. Uh, yeah, definitely Eduardo. He's one of the final round champions. So yeah, you can never sleep on him.
yeah.
Never.
Shin Blanka, I appreciate you taking some time. I guess we should mention Final Round 20 kicks off the
Yep.
Capcom Pro Tour, first premier event that is March 10th through 12th, right?
Yes, sir. Um,
Georgia International Convention Center, which is a new location. So uh,
Yes,
looking
thirty-seven
forward to that.
thousand square feet. We ain't gonna have no problem with no space this year. Trust and believe.
Sounds sounds
We're
good.
actually gonna have a cafeteria in there also, so people don't
Oh,
even have to leave to go get nothing to eat. They just eat right there, and boom, they're good.
all right. Appreciate you taking the time. Go take care of that kid. Congratulations again on that. Congratulations on making final round 20, and hopefully at some point this year. I know traveling might be an issue, especially with the baby, but hopefully at some point we get to see you and we'll hook up at one of these events this year.
I don't know. I mean, right now my child was born, man. I doubt I go anywhere this year. Just being uh, real
Shin
spit.
Blanka has finally been defeated.
Yeah, but I would like to go out, but I doubt I go out, man. It's just nah. But I'll
All
be a
right,
stream monster,
there you go.
rooting on everybody and being a stream monster. So
Thanks for talking.
no problem.